Dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Agribusiness A Journey. In the same series of discussion related to factor-product relationship, in the previous video I have highlighted about short-run production function. Today I will discuss about long-run production function. The long-run production function is also called as return to scale. Dear friends, in the short-run production function, out of two input, labor and capital, labor was considered as only variable that varies according to the increase and decreasing of the output, whereas capital are considered as fixed one. But in long run, both labor and capital are considered as variable, or you may call as the elastic one. And again, another thing I like to highlight is that in the short-run production function is likely to be connected with law of diminishing marginal utility, whereas long-run production function are more connected with law of equimarginal utility or indifference curve. How it can be connected with each other, I am explaining in this complete video. You just see, this is the indifference curve. Indifference means if there will be the permutation and combination of different type of the input during the consumption process. Suppose you have two choices, two commodity for choice for your consumption, then you always try to make the perfect permutation and combination to get maximum satisfaction. When you have different type of the permutation combination to have a particular category of satisfaction, then you call as the indifference curve. In the indifference curve, the satisfaction curve, which has been highlighted in the red line IC1, is always be lesser in utility than IC2 and IC3. It means higher the indifference curve, higher will be the satisfaction level. Same fundamental has been replicated in long run production function. You just see here, when your both capital and labor are variable and elastic one, and output varies according to the combination of the capital and labor, as a rational manager, you always think that whether how I can increase my output by minimizing the cost, or how I can produce the output by better combination of the input. In that connection, when labor and capital are vary with each other, then you will find a isoquant curve. Isoquant means you also call as the same product curve or equal product curve. In the same product curve, irrespective of the combination of the input, whether it is the capital and labor, you will find the same output. If you can like to elaborate the isoquant curve, you will better elaborate it through you can have the equal product by different combination of the input. That is called as isoquant. Then question arises, how isoquant curve is different than the indifference curve. Indifference curve connected to the satisfaction of the consumer, whereas the isoquant curve is connected to the overall outcome or output or the production of the organization. Indifference curve highlighted that it is more connected to the rank the lines, or whatever the indifference curve or the curves has been generated in combination with different type of the product, you only can make it rank, or rankable of the curves only can be possible, whereas in isoquant curve you rank the curves simultaneously, you have to measure the curves. You better call as the indifference curve is subjective in nature, whereas the isoquant curve is highly objective in nature. Other than this, in both the cases, you just see Characteristics of the indifference curve and isoquant curve is equal to each other. Indifference curve is you can say that it is a negative in slope, convex to origin. Indifference curve cannot be intersect with each other. Upper indifference curve represent the higher level of satisfaction. Similar type of the things has also been observed in the isoquant curve. If you understand the isoquant curve in perfect way, then it is better for you to understand the different type of the concept in long run production function. Long run production functions highlighted that return to scale, the behavior of the output in response to a proportional and simultaneously change in input. It means if the output increases at the same proportion with increase in the input, then you call it the constant return to scale. When the output has been decreased in proportion to different type of the combination of the input, you can call as the decreasing return scale. When the output has been increased with increasing return to scale, that is called as the output has been increased with the different type of the combinations in an increasing manner, then you can call as the increasing return to scale. Constant return to scale mainly observed in those situations when you will find the example just like the tractor and driver. If you have a tractor, then definitely you need a driver. It means both the input has been required in a same proportion. Then it is called as the increase in the tractor's proportion and driver proportions impacted on equal impact on the overall production. Constant return to scale also been observed when your production curve or your long run production curve shifting from increasing return to scale to decreasing return to scale. In between that, you will find one point where you find the constant return to scale. Decreasing return to scale is more connected to managerial inefficiency. Suppose your organization is growing quite well and it is always be in the saturated situation, then there may be the chances that managers will face different type of the problems just like the conflict, role ambiguity, role clarity, exhaustions, and understand the things is quite difficult for them as the organization is quite the largest state. In that case, managerial inefficiency has been observed that impacted on the decreasing return to scale. Limitedness of the natural resources, numbers of times you are increasing the input, you increasing the land doesn't mean that increasing the land increase the fertility of the particular land, or there may be the chances that you are in taking the lease of the coal mines. There may be the chances that taking the lease more and more doesn't mean that your coal percentage or the mining percentage will be increased. In that conditions, you will find the decreasing return to scale. Increasing return to scale mainly observed when your technical and managerial indivisibility will be observed. Suppose one manager can handle 5 to 6 persons at a time and you are not utilizing the potentiality of the manager in a proper way, then when your input has been increased, that potentially has been sharpened more and more. That is called as the managerial efficiency has been improved. If your organization has the capacity but your capacity has not been utilized properly, and when more and more input has been used, your capacity also be increased in a similar manner or increasing manner. Higher degree of the specialization is also in that direction. Suppose one manager is efficient in production management, marketing management, financial management, human resource management, and during the course of time you utilize the particular person in a proper way, then definitely you will find the increasing return to scale. Numbers of times, suppose your length and breadth of a particular land has been increased 2 times, area also increased the 4 times in this direction. If the dimension has been changed, then you will find more and more area into consideration and you will find the increasing return to scale. Dear friends, the most important challenge is nowadays that we have multiple of wants, we have multiple of choices, but ultimately we will find the scarcity of means or scarcity of input. So to understand how to properly utilize our output in contrast to the input in the long run basis, this thing need to be considered, that whether if it is increasing return to scale, decreasing return to scale, constant return to scale, or how we can improve our return to scale in long run basis is a matter of concern need to be taken into consideration. Thank you all. Thank you for watching my video.